You see me walking down the street and I start to cry each time we meet. Walk on by. Walk on by.
Yeah, I know what line you're on. We've got Art.
Hey, guys.
Are you there, Art?
There's something that I think believers get a free pass on too often. And as I'm sure you know, the Catholic Church says that it's the one true church and that other churches don't have the means of salvation, and the Baptists say that the Catholics are all going to hell, and the Mormons, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that often when people call in, the dividing line is, well, I've got salvation, and the response is, well, theism is a crock, and, the Bible's a crock. But another strategy might be to say, well, which salvation do you have, and how do you know it's the right one?
Right.
How do you know that your particular brand of salvation is the one that works? And if you hit them with that, I'd like to see what some people would say. Now, of course, a lot of them would just pull one quote out of the Bible, God so loved the world, blah, 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 and that settles it. Like, let's forget, looking at any other quotes which might contradict it. But I'd like to see if there's any kind of, reasonable response aside from...
There's not. Or at least, I have yet to hear a good response.
I think that the religious institutions themselves want to be exclusive, so I think that the Catholic Church absolutely does say that, and the Baptists do actually say that, and so on. But I think the individuals calling in, there seems to be an attitude of religious tolerance, which can be a bad thing in the sense that if you sort of tolerate BS or you tolerate the bad things other religions are doing, I don't think you should be tolerating those things. But I think that the average sort of workaday Christian basically thinks everybody's going to heaven and whatever. That they don't get a big thrill out of somebody else not going to heaven necessarily. I mean, some of them do, but...
Ooh, I don't know if that can be said about the average.
No? Okay.
I've hung out with a lot of average Christians, and while they would prefer that everybody go to heaven, most of them do not believe that everybody is.
Oh, okay. So maybe it has more to do with the company where they don't necessarily.
Just to take the point one step further, if someone were to say, accept Jesus and you'll be saved, just say, well, okay, which one should I accept? If I accept the wrong one, according to what the leaders preach, I think you're right. Most believers would say, okay, any variant is fine. But the leaders disagree. The leaders, condemn each other's religions and say, well, if you're not, the right brand, you're going.
They'll all tell you that they have the truth, that they have the revealed truth of God or whatever.
Right. So what it comes down to, if someone wanted to accept Jesus and be saved, they've still got to spin the roulette wheel.
Yeah.
They've still got to say, well, I'm going to go with this church, and whatever they pick, some other Christian church is going to say, you've made the wrong choice.
Yeah, I actually had an idea for something that I never got around to doing to deal with Pascal's wager and the many problems with it. And that was to have, right behind me, a big wheel that I could spin. So when somebody called in to talk about Pascal's wager, et cetera, you could just say, okay, well, you pick your religion, I'm going to spin the wheel, we'll see which one comes up right. And then I was actually going to rig the wheel so that once they said that they were Christian, it would come up Christian, and then move it out of the way and slide in the next wheel with all the different denominations of Christianity on there to see if they were still willing to play the game.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
Anybody steals that idea, I'm coming after you. All right, thanks a lot, Art. Appreciate it.
And I start to cry each time we meet. Walk on by. Walk on